everybody, I hope that you are well. Welcome back or welcome to Elderflower Stitches. My name is Susie and this channel is my space for talking all about knitting, sewing, yarn dyeing and other crafty things. This is my first podcast in a little while, so you might expect to see lots of finished objects, but I've been rather busy. It's been a bit of a strange time. If you're watching this further on in the future, then we are kind of just coming out of lockdown in the UK due to COVID-19, and throughout that time, because I work full-time as a primary school teacher, I've still been working, but sort of at home and then at home and at work, and I felt like I've been even busier than I would normally be. So I've obviously had to keep things going with this shop, but not really managing to get a huge amount of knitting time in between. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble. Just to explain, I don't really have any finished objects to show you, but I have made progress on some of my projects, and even those that I haven't made progress on, I'm still going to show you them today because I haven't shown them for such a long time that you might not have seen them if you're new to my channel. So hello. I hope that you're doing okay. If you're watching this kind of as around the time that I'm filming it, I hope that you're all safe and well, and that you're not being affected by the horrible virus. But yeah, it's a very strange time. I've started sort of meeting up with friends now in the park, going for a walk and being socially distanced, that kind of thing. So it's strange. Shall we start with some works in progress? So I'm going to begin with the one that I am most excited about, and that is my Gardenia stole. So my last podcast, not my studio vlog, but my last podcast, I started a giveaway for the Gardenia stole. So lovely Cheryl Toy of Little Church Knits approached me and wanted to share a pattern with me, and she said, would I like to give one away on the podcast? So yes, very exciting. I will be announcing the winner of that podcast at the end of this video. I first need to work out how to do that with YouTube comments. So I need to look at how many comments there are and then I think pick a random number. But you can pop back and find out more about the pattern on there, but I'll just give you a quick overview. So it's this beautiful stole pattern called the Gardenia stole with this gorgeous lace work, and that's at either end of the stole. So you knit the two ends separately and then join them together at the centre, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'll try and show you some more pictures without sharing the pattern. So beautiful, and I decided to knit it in my favourite yarn, which is my colour Point Shoes on Super Sock. So Point Shoes is the softest, just turn the light off so you can get, is the softest blush peach colour, and this is on Super Sock, which is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon base. So it's a really high twist. So what's really nice for lace work is you get amazing stitch definition. So I did actually wash and block this about halfway up, about here maybe, just to see what it was like, and yeah, just to be nosy about how the stitches were coming up, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm a bit in love. So once it's properly blocked again, because it's obviously been squashed in my project bag, these parts here have a lovely kind of scooped edge, and yeah, I need to knit the second part. So I have not actually finished the lace all the way to the end of the lace pattern, but I quite like where it stops here. So I have decided to stop the lace and just knit in the stocking stitch until I'm ready to make the second half of my stole. Or I might even just knit all the way to the end in stocking stitch and then add some other detail at the other end, like just mirror some of these stitches but not the full pattern. might see how that looks. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing to knit. I have learnt so many new stitches, and I don't think I quite mastered some of them but it is absolutely beautiful and really engaging. It's definitely not a TV knit, it's 100% a sit and focus on your knitting, but if you want that kind of project that is going to really keep your mind busy, this is definitely the one for you, because it is really full of intricate detail. You don't get many kind of, you know, with some lace you just purl the back of the work, you don't get much of that, so you're kind of like doing lace work on both sides of the pattern, which is really engaging. So I will do the giveaway for that. That will be at the end of the video, so if you want to skip ahead and find out who has won, then you can do. They will be winning a copy of the pattern, and if they chose one of my yarns as the yarn, they would knit it up, and they will also win the yarn too, which is super exciting. Okay, next WIP. I'm a bit in love with this. So I am knitting, and this is the only thing I've been reaching for other than the Gardenia stole recently, because it's so easy. This, I don't know how to pronounce it, is the Euse sweater from Refined Knitwear, and she makes the most beautiful patterns with just like the softest, delicate feminine details, like these little puff sleeves. So here is the start of my sweater. So you can just see, if I hold it up, you can just see how those puff sleeves go, and you've got the sweet kind of boat neck. It's going to look, sorry, I'm looking in the mirror behind you, it's going to look so cute. I've got it on a super small cable because that's just how I like to knit things in the round. I like it to be really squashed up and easy. That's actually the back. There's actually that way round. So you've got a slightly higher back than front, but I'm a bit in love. I did kind of try a sleeve just to see what the puff was like. I've actually got a bit of a puff on my dress, so it might not show up that much, but so this is how the sleeve will look. And I'm kind of tempted just to finish here with like a ribbing hem and just have a little short sleeve jumper, because that looks adorable. Yeah, so I've obviously got quite a lot of knitting to do to get to the end of the body, and then I'll finish off with a, I'm not sure how I'll finish the hem. So on my last podcast, one of my finished items was my Matilda jumper, and I kind of hacked it and put an old shale lace hem, and it gave it this lovely scalloped finish. And I'm not sure whether that totally would work for this kind of pattern, but I'm also really not keen on the ribbing hem at the bottom of a jumper. It really doesn't suit my shape, so I'm trying to think of another way that I can do it. Yes, and the joy of interchangeable needles is that I have been able to put all of the sleeve stitches onto a short spare cable and twist the little caps on the end, so that when I have to knit the sleeves, I don't have to pick up all of the stitches, because I was not keen on doing that. For my Susie jumper, that was something I did not enjoy at all. So yeah, I use Knit Pro Novas, not the cubics, just the circular one, and they're fine. They're not particularly sharp, but for something like this where you're not doing much detail, they're okay. Oh, it's got a little stitch marker on there. That is from my June Precious Minis club, which I'll talk more about at the end of the video in the shop news bit. But yeah, here's my sweater. It's so snuggly. So I'm knitting it in vintage lace, which is another one of my colourways, on super sock with a strand of taffeta, which is, just going to turn the light off. There we go. So it's knit with Super Sock and Taffeta, and Taffeta is Surrey Silk and Alpaca. Yeah, and it is so soft. So this is often people use this undyed held with sock yarn to make, like the snuggle down cowl is knit with a strand of this kind of yarn, so I thought it would be a super soft. The original pattern uses mohair, but I do have mohair, have some flossy mohair, but I'm really preferring how soft this feels. I'm quite lucky I can wear mohair absolutely fine, it's not an issue, but this is even softer, so yeah, love it. Yeah, so that is the vintage, did I say vintage lace, because this is vintage silk colourway, which is like a really pale dusty pinky blush colour. I wouldn't quite go as far as to say that it's pink, because it is more of a kind of nude perhaps than a pink, but it's very, very pretty, so love that. And I'm quite enjoying just picking that up and popping a few rounds on when I wake up in the morning, or just when I'm sat chatting, whatever. What have we got in here? Oh, Birds of a Feather. So I started this one, I haven't actually put any stitches on this since I last podcast, which is a shame because it's totally gorgeous, but I just haven't had time. This one is, it looks like a pair of pants, but it's not. This is the Birds of a Feather shawl by Dre Renee Knits, Andrea Mowry. I'm sure you've probably seen loads of this before. It's totally gorgeous. Normally people use like a contrasting sock yarn and mohair, but I have decided to use matching sock yarn and mohair to give it a much more kind of delicate finish. So this part is knitting sock yarn, and then this part is not mohair, sorry, this is taffeta as well, the Surrey Silk and Alpaca. And actually if it was mohair you'd probably be able to see through it a lot more, but the Surrey Alpaca is a bit slightly thicker than the mohair, so it's not quite as see-through, but I feel like that will make it a little bit warmer to wrap around. But yeah, it's very cute. It's got this stitch that goes all the way through the centre, and then at the edge you've got a nice finish that goes all the way along there as well. Yes, I've got quite a long way to go on that. I haven't actually taken it out of the bag since I last did a podcast, I don't think, but I am knitting that in vintage lace. I'm going to turn the light off again because I think it kind of makes it too bright. So it's again sock yarn with taffeta. Just loving the texture of holding the two together. So vintage lace is like a really creamy buttery ivory colour, really, really pale, and absolutely love the two together. So I really want to get that finished because I want to be able to wear it. It would be a really nice neutral shawl to wear with lots of different things. I just need to kind of prioritise some knitting time really. Next up we have got my Miss Marple socks, and these are, I can't remember which Miss Marple ones they are, Tea at Bertram's they're called. Oh, these are so pretty and a really satisfying stitch pattern. So I've been increasing for the heel flap on these, and I've got to turn the heel next, and look at that, so pretty. This colourway is dog hair. Is Icy Breath, which I think I've got 2 skeins left, but then that's it because I didn't actually write down the recipe for this one. It was just one of those ones that I kind of dyed up a few and then I forgot to write it down. Could probably create something similar, but maybe not exactly the same. So, but look at that beautiful stitch pattern. So you get this kind of moss stitch down the centre, and all of this is like eyelet lace work. If I put my hand in, you can see it. Look at that, it's so pretty. Wow. These are going to be shorties. I don't really knit anything longer than a shorty sock, and I am really excited to get them finished. I think they'll look so cute. Really pretty colour. Yes, so it's just Icy Breath on Super Sock. I do my, can you see it behind me? This is my yarn winder, which I use to make my cakes, and they honestly, not very neat because I've shoved them in my project bags, but the neatest yarn cakes. I used to have one of the cheap plastic ones, and they're fine, but they just don't make the yarn cake look as nice. So if you're looking to invest in a yarn winder and you want one that is going to make it look really neat and pretty, that is the Knit Pro Jumbo or something, Knit Pro Max or something like that, and I got mine from Amazon and it's been amazing. I also invested in the Knit Pro Swift because I had just a regular wooden Swift, but it wasn't varnished, so when you're winding your yarn it squeaks because it's just wood rubbing against wood, whereas I've got the Knit Pro one is actually varnished or sealed in some way, so it's lovely and smooth. I'm thinking about maybe trying to wax the other one so it's not quite so squeaky. I also wanted to show you, very strange noise coming from next door, not sure what that is. I also wanted to show you the Seasonal Sock Club and the Precious Minis Club, because I don't think I'd actually shown and talked about, maybe I talked about the Seasonal Sock Club, but not the Precious Minis. So I thought I would show you what comes in the Precious Minis Club. I haven't actually boxed this up, but I'll just show you what you get in the box. So the Precious Minis Club is inspired by precious gems or precious stones, and each month is a different stone. So the July one is Cape Amethyst. If you have got one in the post on its way to you and you don't want a spoiler, then maybe don't watch this bit. But you get, it comes with this little card. I just tie this on to the box, and you get a little bit of information about what Cape Amethyst is and the benefits. And then you get a little Progress Keeper set with a bit dark again. The light's really funny today. So this is actually made from lilac Cape Amethyst, and there's some little glass beads on the stitch markers as well. And then you get 5 little minis that are all, the colourway is all designed to kind of pick up the beautiful colours in the precious stone. So here is the lilac Cape Amethyst mini bundle. What's the best way to hold these? Like this? Light on, light off. I don't know what's best. Off, I think, is best for the yarn. So there's like a kind of tonal, lavender, and then a more kind of variegated lavender. And then it goes into more sort of what I would call a lilac, perhaps. And then more almost towards like more magenta colour with some slightly darker bits. So you could knit whatever you wanted with these. I think it would make a really cute pair of socks. Or you might want to knit like a Precious Minis blanket, or crochet a Precious Minis blanket and add your skeins each month, or I don't know, I'm sure you can find loads of ideas. So you get 5 20-gram minis with that one. Then with the Sock Club, which comes like this, you get, it says on the front which flower it is, so each month is inspired by a flower, and this one is delphinium. And then you get a full skein and a coordinating mini. So for the seasonal sock club, it's always kind of a variation on green, generally quite pale green. So this is delphinium, so you've got some like lavender, lilac, purpley colours, and then a nice kind of almost cornflower blue colour in there as well. And then the nice delicate pale green, and then it gives you a bit of information on the back as well. So yeah, it's a different one each month. I didn't realise how much the minis and the sock club were matching this month when I was just dyeing them up. I was like, oh yeah, I've kind of got like a purpley thing going on with both of them. So that's the sock club and the minis club, if you didn't know about those, and I'll put the links for all the various bits that I've talked about in the notes below. Is there anything else to tell you about? I think that's it for knitting and shop stuff. Other general life news. We are like super close to being able to buy our house now. So if you've been following my channel for a while, then you probably know that we've been saving up for a house, and we're pretty much there now, which is so exciting, and is in no small part because of my little shop and all of the amazing orders that you have made. So thank you so much. We just have to wait now for the property market to kind of settle down a little bit, because not all the mortgages that were available before this are available again yet. So we're waiting on that to, yeah, kind of settle down a bit. But it's quite nice that we won't have to pay stamp duty. That's one of the measures that the government are putting in place at the moment to try and keep the property market afloat. So we're a bit nervous about what's going to happen property wise, but we are keeping faith, and hopefully within the next 6 months we will be in our new home, and I'll be able to film lots more videos, lots more kind of vloggy videos. I don't really feel comfortable filming like yarn dyeing and stuff because I use the kitchen and we live with my husband's family. So yeah, it will be nice to have our own space and be able to do a few more videos and things for you. Yeah, exciting. Other than that, there's really no news because we can't really do much. Yeah, we're going for some nice walks in the evenings where it's been light and sunny, and I'm quite enjoying that. We get to, we live near the South Downs National Park, like we live on it, so we can go for lots of nice walks on the downs, and we've been to the beach a few times. And that's kind of it. I quite enjoy the slower pace of life though, and I think it's been quite good for me emotionally to slow down a little bit and spend a bit more time doing a bit of self-care. There's been a silver lining. It's an awful situation and everything is very sad, but it has been a bit of a silver lining to be able to slow down and maybe refocus and prioritize and think about what's really important, because it's very easy to just be rushing around madly and yeah, and just not making time for what's really important. So it's nice to have been able to do that a bit more, and I hope that maybe that's something you've been able to do as well. Yeah, other than that, we're all good. We're just plodding on ever closer to our home. Every day we're like, we're one day closer. It's a tricky time because it's not like we can start counting down, because we don't know when exactly we'll actually have our home, and we don't know which home it will be. So we're doing the thing that all first-time buyers do. We spend our life on property websites looking at houses, and yeah, we don't want to go and do any viewings yet because we are still waiting for the right mortgage products to come back. We don't want to fall in love with a house and not be able to buy it. So that would be really hard, and we also don't want to waste anybody's time either. So we're just going to wait on that one. Hopefully in the next few months we can go and do some viewings and actually start moving forward with the whole thing, which is so exciting. So that's lovely. Any other news? Oh, a bit of extra shop news. I did a collaboration with lovely Sam from Yarntopia Teesdale, and there is an exclusive set of micros, which are 10-gram skeins, available as part of her Stolen Spring kit, which you can get from her Etsy shop. So I'll pop a link to that below as well. Anything else? Like looking around my craft room, like what else can I show you? Oh, I need to, did I tell you about the minis? Can you see here? There are some little peachy and pink minis. Those are DK ones, and I have a huge bag of sock ones, and I'm putting a pink and peach one in every order at the moment, just as a little thank you for helping us on our journey home, and yeah, just to spread a little bit of joy in these very strange times. So yeah, if you place an order, you'll get a little surprise in your package with those. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I hope that you are well. I have put comments back on this video, and hopefully there will be no strange ones. But if there are, I will just delete them and we'll move on. Yeah, but I was feeling a bit vulnerable when I put my last vlog up, but I didn't want to not do anything. But I'm feeling a bit more like, well, do you know what? It's their problem now. So yeah, great, lovely to see you, kind of talk to you. And I will speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye. Okay, so I have got my random number generator going here, a number between 1 and 152, because that's how many amazing entries we had on the giveaway. So thank you so much to everybody who entered, and good luck. I'm going to press stop, and the number that it lands on, I'm going to count all the way through and find out who it is, and they will win the pattern. And if they chose some of my yarn, they will also win some yarn to make the pattern with. It's number 38. Let's find out who that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 37, 38. Crafty Babalina, who I think you're saying point shoes, because you're saying that you like the colour that I've used already, so I will give you some point shoes yarn to make it as well. So Crafty Bubbleina, you are the winner of the giveaway. I will look out for a message from you. If you could send me a message on Instagram or through Etsy, and I will sort out your prize. Well done you. Woo-hoo.